Police haven't wasted any time enforcing these new security laws.
Yep. Absolutely not. Since China's new national security law came into effect, Hong Kong police have made a wave of arrests here in the territory. So far, Hong Kong police have arrested around 370 people on charges varying from possession of offensive weapons to unlawful assembly to breaching the new national security law. Of the 370 people who've been arrested, 10 were arrested under the new law, including a 15-year-old girl. The 15-year-old was arrested for waving a pro-independence flag. Now, another arrest that we're learning more information about this morning is an arrest of a 24-year-old man that took place earlier today. He was arrested on suspicion of wounding a police officer with a dagger. He was arrested at Hong Kong International Airport on the tarmac. He was on a Cathay Pacific flight en route to London when police went on board and apprehended him. Now, the national security law criminalizes secession, subversion of state power, terrorism, including with foreign forces. It sets up a new commission, a commission for safeguarding national security here in Hong Kong. It also sets up a new special unit under the Hong Kong police force to handle these national security cases. Under the new law, people could face a maximum sentence of life in prison, and this law applies to anyone. It applies to anyone outside Hong Kong, even if they're not a Hong Kong permanent resident. On Wednesday, we got, if we could call it, a little bit more clarity about the law from the top leadership here in Hong Kong, including the chief executive of Hong Kong, Carrie, and she said that this new national security law was designed not to punish, but to deter people from committing serious crimes. Back to you, Ashley.
Kristie, are you expecting those protests on the streets to continue over the coming days?
That's a great question because, you know, back to what Carrie said, that this law was meant not to punish but deter. It's doing just that. It's creating a chilling effect, and it's really preventing a lot of people who would normally protest last year during the protest movement from going out. You know, we're seeing this drawback of support in the virtual world. We're seeing a number of protesters cancel their social media accounts and retreat from the encrypted app Telegram. We're also seeing it in the real world. Less people turning out to protest. One 22-year-old protester told me that he's considering leaving Hong Kong to, quote, anywhere with freedom. There's even a chilling effect among ordinary Hong Kongers. You know, anecdotally, I've spoken to a number of just regular Hong Kongers here who say that they're too afraid to use the sad or angry emoji on Facebook in relation to Hong Kong stories because of this new national security law. There is a climate of fear here. Back to you.
Just today, Kristie, we've seen the Australian government saying it's considering offering safe haven visas to Hong Kong residents after those laws were imposed. Britain overnight obviously also offered residents the option of resettling there. Is there an expectation that there will be something of an exodus away from Hong Kong?
You know, it's something that's been discussed even since the handover among many people here in Hong Kong. What is your plan B? What is your additional passport that you plan to use to get out of Hong Kong? And Carrie Lam has tried to put aside any fears that people may have about the situation here changing so much that they're forced to leave. She has said that at the handover, there was a time when people wanted to leave and they ended up missing out on a decade of unprecedented prosperity. It's funny because when you talk to protesters, like the 22-year-old man I mentioned earlier, he is seriously considering leaving. He doesn't see any future for him here in Hong Kong. But if you talk to members of the business community here, the establishment, they are not hitting the exits anytime soon. In fact, just the opposite. You have top business leaders, even London-based banks like Standard Chartered, HSBC, saying that they fully support the new national security law and this new era for Hong Kong. Back to you.